All right, we are recording. We've got a jam-packed night, so I'm going to go ahead and get started, especially with us having the recording. We're 9:02. Welcome to Power Hour. So glad to have you on. Man, we've got so much stuff going on right now in the Jade Factory. A lot of excitement, a lot of new stuff happening. Man, it is a very, very good time to be in this business. So for the folks that have been here for a bit, congratulations. For the ones that just joined, you are blessed with timing. My goodness gracious. It's so great. We got two special guests tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into my remarks first, and then I'll host the call throughout the rest of the evening. But first, I just want to really congratulate the new folks that have just come on board. I know Michelle and Brian are already blowing it up, already bringing in new folks with Amanda. We've got Brian and James on fire, getting started with this business, and it's really great to see you guys. Y'all are in for quite a ride. So find a spot on the rocket ship, get yourself strapped in. Don't ask what seat, just get on and hold on for dear life. We're getting ready to do some really neat things. So that's what I want to start our chat about. First is, if you've been hiding underneath a rock and you haven't been plugged in, then you might not know that we've got a private business reception that's going on tomorrow, Friday, the 16th. It's going to be from 7 p.m. That's the arrival time that I'd like you to be showing up at my house, at my residence, with my beautiful wife and our 4 kids. Looking forward to having you all here. I want you to pack the house. I don't want there to be any room. That's going to be tough. I think the record I've got so far is 80. I think we got 80 in here one time. So we'll see if we blow that out. We don't do PBRs very often, but when we do, we pretty much make the biggest ones of all time. So that's how we roll. So the reason for that is we got a very special guest coming into town tomorrow. Excited to have him here. None other than our green diamond, Mr. Miles Stallard. So excited to have him into town. If you've never seen him present in person live, it's quite a sight. I've been doing this for 10 years, and he's got a very serious skill set, and you don't want to miss that. So do everything you can to get as many people to come with you and have them check out what it is that we're doing. Let me give you a real simple way of going about this is reach out to people and let them know, hey, I'm going to use Joe as the quintessential prospect that you want to chat with. And you say something along the lines of, hey, Joe, hey, man, what do you got going on tomorrow night? Or if you're talking to them, hey, what do you got going on later this evening? Well, I don't know, man. What you got going on? Hey, you remember you used to tell me that you'd like to make some extra money, or maybe they haven't told you that, and you ask them, have you been interested in maybe earning some additional income? Maybe being able to and take it from income to what it is that they want to do and start painting a picture here. So listen to these words. Hey, what would it feel like? We've been working here for how many years, man? What would it feel like on Sunday night when that time, it's usually around 5 o'clock where you just kind of have that, the weekend's almost over. I'm going to have to go to work tomorrow. Joe, what would it feel like if we didn't have to go to work on Monday? What are you talking about, man? You're crazy. You got to go to work. No, you don't, man. I don't believe that's the case. There are ways to be able to do that. How would it feel to you to not have to do that? I don't know, man. It'd be pretty cool. When you see them make that shift where they start painting that creative mindset that you have planted a seed into their brain that they're starting to picture. When you do something like that, now you'll see they'll change all their expression. It's not a time to sit there and explain to them what to do. It's not a time to get into details about, hey, I've got this new opportunity. I want you. They don't want an opportunity. They don't want to go to work on Monday. So a lot of times when we get into this thing, we're over here talking about how great this business is and how great this opportunity and how great this project and this and that and the other. They don't care. They really don't. All they care about is what's in it for them. You need to show them what's in it for them. How would it feel if, and you paint a picture, literally get a brush and you start painting a picture with words. You all can do that. You've all dreamed before. Dust that off, use that to invite them. Well, that'd be pretty cool, man. Where's all this coming from? I think I found something, dude. I know I found something. I'm launching the biggest project I've ever launched. And I don't know if you'll be interested in it or not, but man, if you want to come see what it is, it could be the thing that allows you to start going down that path where you don't have to come into work on Mondays. That will get their attention. That will get them to get in the car with you. I'll come pick you up. I got to pick you up at 6:30. We need to be there at 7. Thing starts at 7:30. It'll be done at 8:30. They're going to have some Dos Equis there. They're going to have, and I bought those. They're here. They're going to have some wine. I got wine too. Don't tell nobody, because they all say that that's not duplicatable in PBRs. And here's the cool thing: I don't duplicate PBRs anymore, so I can do it. So it's going to be fun. So we're going to have fun. It's going to be a great time. Tell them it's going to be fun. I want to introduce you to some really cool people. It's going to be a good time. It's not going to be stuffy. It's not going to be all crazy. It's going to be just awesome. Why don't you come with me and at least take a look? Be something different, man. You know what you do every Friday. It's the same thing. You feel the same way you do on Saturday. Come over here and let's do something different. It'll be fun. Don't tell them you're going to take them to a damn business presentation. That's the last thing they want to do on a Friday. All right. And that's not what we're doing. We're here to show them a path to be able to not go to work on Friday, on Monday. Okay. So that's how you're going to invite somebody to get to this thing. Next thing I want to talk about is the Whisper campaign. It is time, folks. It is absolutely time for the Whisper campaign. This is something that we have been setting into motion for literally months. I have been planning this with my inner circle. Mr. Jones is getting ready to just come unhinged if y'all haven't seen this yet, man. He is on so much fire. Oh, my goodness. He's got me fired up. The Whisper campaigns is designed for the blitz that we're going to do. If you don't know what the blitz is, I'm not going to go into all that detail. You need to go to the Jade Factory Facebook group. It's pinned to the top. Watch that video. It explains the whole thing. I explained all of that on August 1st. This step of the Whisper campaign is the first incarnation of the things that we do to make this blitz happen. It's a very simple thing. Between now, if you've already started, that's fine. But between now and the next 10 days, by the 25th, you need to be done. Don't procrastinate. Start now. Start as soon as we get done with tonight at 10:01. I want you grabbing your phone and start this thing up. Here's what it's going to consist of. I don't care how you do it. I don't care if you send smoke signals. I don't care if you write long letters and mail this to everybody with a stamp. I would prefer if you use a text message or if you use Messenger to send this, but I don't care how you do it. Just do it. And here's the content of what you need to send. Joe, oh my goodness, I got it, man. I hope you're doing well. I am fired up on this side. I am working on the biggest project, underline project, everybody. Write that word down. I am working on the largest project I have ever done in my entire life. I'm super excited. Make sure that part's in there. Super excited about what I'm about to launch on this thing. I don't have all of the details nailed down. I'm working on that right now. As soon as I nail all this down, I'm going to reach back out to you. But man, you were on my mind. I wanted to reach out to you and let you know I was thinking about you. Key part, I'm thinking about you. And I will get back with you the beginning of next month is what my plan is. We'll see how things go. I got to get running. Just know that this is going to be huge, buddy. Can't wait to talk to you and catch up. Talk soon. Bye-bye. So in your notes, write down at 9 minutes of the recording. You can go back and you can listen to that as many times as you need to. Okay? You need to send that as a content, and you're going to send that to Joe, Bill, Bob, Chuck, Mary, Brandon, Joseph, and every other name that you possibly know. Okay? It's that simple. So now what I want to do is I want you to see how the Whisper campaign fits into the context of the rest of the steps that we're going to do down the road. And we will train you on all those steps. Don't get lost here. Focus on the Whisper campaign. That's what we do. But I do want to show you how this fits together so that you feel comfortable. We're going to do this Whisper campaign. I want you to reach out to at least 100 people. All right, raise your hand if you freaked out a little bit and you clinched up a little. Come on, come on. Get them up there. Anybody? That's good, good, a little bit. That's fear. That's your terrorist. Recognize that he just showed up. Shoot him in the damn head and do it anyway. Go down a new path. Don't rotate and keep doing that same thing. You've done that before. Watch last night's 3-minute and 12-second gold-plated freaking awesomeness that flowed through me last night. That was mystical, man. That was some cool stuff. Watch that if you need to understand what I'm talking about here. But just recognize that you're at an inflection point where you can go one of two directions. Go down the right side. Go down the new side. Reach out to them. Impact a life. Start something in motion that's going to blow them away. 100 people at least. If you got 300 that you've been reaching out to over the summer, do it. If you just joined yesterday, do this anyway. Do this as well. Reach out to everybody that you know, and it fits even better if you just got started, because this is phase 1 for you. If you've been in for a little bit, it's phase 2. Reach out to 100 people. Now, some of them are going to reach back out and they're going to go, what are you working on? You go quiet, you go silent. If you want to, and you do this tonight, and they reach out to and say, look, man, are you really serious? You want to know right now? Yeah, dude, this sounds pretty legit. What are you doing tonight? If you're serious, what are you doing tonight? Well, I don't know, man. Clear the decks. I need you to come with me. We got a little thing going on. I'll get you into the pre-party. I'll get you into the VIP pre-launch of the pre-launch. If you can, but dude, there's only a couple spots. This house is going to be packed. It's going to look like a freaking exotic car show in the driveway. But get in the car with me. Come take a look at this thing. They got something called a PBR. It's not Pabst Blue Ribbon. Okay, it's private business reception. You come take a look at this. It's real. It's pretty cool, man. If they can't come, you don't tell them anymore. You end the conversation. Hey, man, I'll get all the details worked out, and I'll get back with you. I got a lot of people I want to reach out to, but I want to reach out to you first. That's the extent. You got to do that between now and the next 10 days. That doesn't mean go do 10 a day. That means sit down and bang it out as soon as you possibly can and get it done. At least 100. That freaks you out, don't worry. There is no data plan on Facebook. There is no data plan on text anymore. You're good. Send 100 at least. All right? Then what's going to happen is after Labor Day is the 2nd. It's on a Monday. On the 3rd and 4th, Tuesday and Wednesday, that's when we're going to reach back out to them. That's when we're going to call them up and say, hey, man, I told you a couple weeks ago I got this big thing. I got all this work all figured out. When can we get together? I need to meet with you. I need 30 minutes. I can only do it for 30 minutes. I've got too many people to meet with. When can we meet for 30 minutes? That's what's going to happen down the road. After that, we sit down, talk to them, see how they're doing for 27 minutes, spend 3 minutes telling our story, and that's the extent of what you're going to have to do. So reach out like crazy to 100 plus people. I want you to let me know by going into Kyani Local and let me know how many people you've reached out to. Keep a running tally of that, okay? When you send one, put it out there. You send another one, I'm up to 2. I'm up to 37. I'm up to 53. I want y'all to post that. Well, Casey, it's going to be dinging all night long, and I don't want to hear that. Turn your notifications off on the group while you're sleeping, and then turn them back on when you get up. I want this thing going off like a darn Christmas tree, okay? It's going to fire your buddies up. There's going to be some excitement. We're impacting lives. We're changing lives, okay? So get after this. If you've got questions about this, reach out. Reach out to your shooter. Reach out to me. Reach out to Kyani Local. Post it somewhere. Put it on the Jade Factory Facebook group. But do the action. You do not want to miss out on this. It is the Extreme Velocity Project. It is time. Let's launch it. All right? Who's fired up? Thumbs up if you're ready to go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, I'm going to introduce our guest speaker tonight, one of 2 guest speakers. So make sure you give this gentleman his due because he is going to be bringing it tonight. I had the honor and privilege to have him with me along with Mr. David Jones. We went to a invite-only leadership retreat through Team Fusion. If you're not sure, if you're brand new and you don't know who Team Fusion is, it's our parent group, if you will. We are members of Team Fusion. We have chosen to brand ourselves with Jade Factory. We do things a little different, but I promise you what we're doing will become the gold standard of all of Team Fusion here very, very shortly with what we're setting into motion right now. You can go ahead and mark my freaking words on that. That was said at 9/17 on 9/8/15 of 19. Yeah, that's happening. All right. So he came to this event with me, and it was so great. You know, there's so many times he's a part of my inner circle, and he's a sapphire in the organization, just an absolute heart of gold. And when we were on this trip, we were coming back, I was literally, and I said these words, and Mr. Jones can attest to it. I looked at him and took my eyes off the road for a second, and then I went back and I was like, dude, you are just nonstop bringing and dropping pure fire knowledge. And he says, yeah, you know, it's kind of flowing out of me right now. I guess when I get unplugged from society for just a couple hours, then all that stuff can flow out. And man, I was blown away by what he was dropping, and it was so great, the connections and he got me thinking about some stuff. We actually had some really good stuff coming out of that. So anyway, I'll shut up now. Let me introduce top producing sapphire of the Jade Factory, Mr. Jacob Wernitznig. He is going to bring some fire. Get your notes and listen up to him. Jacob, take it away, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Casey. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. I hear you loud and clear.
All right, man. I appreciate it. And yeah, man, thank you so much for inviting David and I, the Reverend, the preacher, the blueberry preacher, Reverend Jones. Thank you so much for inviting both of us on that trip, man. You know, for somebody that's been in the business almost as long as you, not in network marketing, but in Kione for almost as long as you, I can honestly say that weekend did a lot for me. You know, my fire has never gone out, but coming back from that weekend, I don't know if my fire has ever been lit as high. You know, I grew up in a small town in Canada, and we didn't really have a whole lot to do. We would go hunting and fishing and camping, and when we would go camping, we would always find all these, we called them pallets, these wood pallets, and man, we would pile those suckers up high just to see as high as we could build that fire, right? And coming back from that event, man, I don't think I've ever had my fire built up quite as high, I'll be honest with you. And there was something about that event. It was just the right mix of intimacy with training, with activities, and world-class training. And man, I got to give it up to our Green Diamond Mile Stallard. The way he ended that event was hands down. I don't even know how to express it, but when you get the chance, when you qualify as Ruby or above next year, you need to get to that event. It's the first time Team Fusion has done that, and it was absolutely fantastic. I don't think that Casey or David would dispute me on that. It was a really, really good event, and the first time they've done that too. So we all three went to that event thinking, man, I don't even know what to expect. To be honest, we kept our expectations kind of low so that maybe we would be hopefully pleasantly surprised. And it turned out really, really, really good. If you all have seen the video, you can see it was fun. But the training was next to none. It was an intimate level of training, and it was really good just to be surrounded by the other leaders in this business. And Casey, I'm so thankful that you chose David and I to tag along with you. It was a great experience. So, you know, like Casey was saying, it's interesting when you leave for 3 days. You know, for somebody that runs, Casey understands he has his own business outside of Kione, and so do I. And we went out there just thinking, you know, it would be a great 3-day weekend, and, you know, we'd be plugged into this training. But what we didn't know, and Team Fusion didn't even realize this, is even though they had Wi-Fi out there, there was no Wi-Fi. Let's be honest. You could catch a glimpse of the signal, but if you were trying to bring in an email or send out an email or send messages or whatever, there was no connection. So you were literally unexpectedly unplugged for 3 days, And, you know, I was saying to Casey and David, I've been on that sort of spiritual retreat where that's intentionally planned so that you're unplugged for the rest of the world. But for business owners, when you're not expecting that, that was a bit of a shock. I will say, though, that it really helped immerse us in everything that was going on. We were totally plugged in, even though some of us didn't wake up at 7 a.m. every morning for the Team Fusion workouts. You know, not calling out any names, but not all of us did that every morning. David Jones did, though. Damn, he was a trooper. Anyways, going back to that, it was a great experience. We had a great chat on the way back. And like Casey said, that really got the juices flowing. And here's my first point, guys. First off, if you're brand new and you have not been to an event, events are so key in this business. And an event is everything that is bigger than you. So it might just be a three-way phone call. An event might be a power hour. This is literally an event. An event might be a monthly or quarterly regional in the market. An event could be as big as an ILA or a Team Fusion homecoming or a road to Diamond Camp, the winner's camp. I love the way that they put that. An event is literally anything bigger than you yourself. And in this business, I've seen it time in and time out. If you do not utilize events, I'm not going to say that you're going to fail, but it's going to make it much, much harder. You need to utilize the tools, and you need to utilize your team, and you need to take advantage of the events. And one thing that Miles Stallard, our Green Diamond head, pointed out to me early on in training is he pointed out the bear cycle. And he talked about events and what they do. They elevate your vision. And I don't know the whole acronym. I can't remember it off the top of my head. But events elevate your vision. Right? That's a whole idea. You can see what this is really and truly about. You can see the whole family. It's not just you. It's not just your team. There is a whole family behind you. And inside of the Jade Factory, we have this great factory. Outside of the Jade Factory, within Team Kairos, within Team Fusion, within all of Kioni, we have this amazing family. And you don't really get to understand that. You don't even get to begin to recognize that until you go to some of our events. But going back to the bear cycle, B-E-A-R, the bear cycle. When Miles first shared that with me, and I'm fairly certain he was the first trainer to ever teach on the bear cycle with me, it is really, literally the life cycle of your business. And it's from start to finish. And I do have slides, but I didn't put anything together for the bear cycle. So take notes on this. B is for belief. E is for enthusiasm. A is for action. R is for results. You go through those four motions. It starts with belief. It grows into enthusiasm. It gains into action, and then it turns into results. And then what happens when you have more results, or when you have results? That creates more belief. And all of a sudden, you're right back at the beginning of that bear cycle. Belief creates enthusiasm, creates action, creates results, which creates more belief. And if you are at a stumbling block, or you are at a level in your business where you feel like you've plateaued, or you don't know what's going on, or you're just not feeling it, or you have no ambition, check yourself. The bear cycle, belief, enthusiasm, action, results. Where are you stuck? Because I guarantee you, if you break it down, it's very, very simple. If you are not where you want to be in your business, you're stuck at one of those four spots. And once you break it down to where you're stuck, it's really, really easy to try and figure out, okay, what do I need to do to correct that? So keep the bear cycle in mind. And I'm going to dig into my actual training topic for tonight. So Casey, I'm going to share my screen here really quick. Let's see if this will work. All right, do you see it? Okay, I was just looking this up for fun. Casey, aka Big Bird, Gran Pajaro. I am not Spanish. I don't speak Spanish, but if you see Mr. Salji, you can also call him aka Gran Pajaro. Maybe you should say that better in Spanish than me. Anyways, at our last regional, I should say, I started by going through the 13 steps to riches. I have been studying Think and Grow Rich. I actually took a study group. We paid like $1,000 just to study through this book as a group and assign reading partners or whatever. The fact is, a lot of people haven't heard about this book, and many people, especially if you've been introduced to personal development, network marketing, entrepreneurship, most people in these fields have seen Think and Grow Rich. The challenge is that A, a lot of people never read it, but B, more importantly, a lot of people read this book and they just treat it like any other book. They read it from start to finish, then they go on to the next book. The opportunity, and I know we've been talking about the word opportunity, but for us, we're all accustomed to that. The opportunity with Think and Grow Rich is not just to study it, but to live it. If you literally just stick on this book, you learn it inside and out, and you live the principles. There's only 13. There ain't that many, so you don't have to be really smart to get rich. But if you learn and you live and you master these 13 principles, there will be nothing holding you back. The last regional that I trained on, I started with the first chapter, which is desire. Obviously, Casey talks about that a lot. David Jones, Reverend Jones talks about that a lot. The first step to our system is desire. I don't care what your goals are. I don't care what you're doing in life. If you don't have desire, you ain't going nowhere. You need the fuel. Desire is the fuel. And that's where I left off at my last regional. So the next part, once you have that desire, once you understand what that is, or you know you have a desire, the next step is faith. And that's what I'm going to break into here. And faith, to a lot of people, can mean a lot of different things. It doesn't have to be necessarily religious. Obviously, to plenty of people, it is. But Casey and I and David were also talking about security alert. We were not talking about that, so hopefully that's okay. I'm going to hit cancel. Okay, good. All right, so before we break into that, I want to take y'all into a story. And one of the things that I recognize is that I love Kyani. I love the product. I love the business. However, as a busy person, and I'm running my own business and I'm doing all sorts of other stuff outside of Kyani, I am guilty of not taking a lot of time to dig into the stories, to the testimonials. And that was one of the biggest things that Casey and I and David took back on our trip back from Alaska Ranch in East Texas is it's all about the story. Man, you can suck at a lot of things, but if you got a good story or you know how to tell a good story, you can thrive, not just in this business, because it's not just prone to this business. If you can tell a good story, you can thrive in a lot of different industries. So anyways, let's take a look at this, because this one caught my eye. This is from Kelly Lepley. It was actually this month. Testimony from my first customer, John. He started on the Triangle of Health back in March, only a week after I joined as a partner, just starting on the Triangle of Health myself. He was diagnosed with Parkinson's last year, but has always suffered with debilitating back pain and body aches. He told me at the time he was on 22 medications, and after 4 weeks on the Triangle of Health, cut his pain meds in half. People that have known him a long time come up to him and ask what he's been doing for his health, because he used to use a cane and was on a wheelchair, was wheelchair bound at times. He travels a lot lately, weekly for work, and used to have to spend every weekend in bed recovering so he could go out again next week. Can you imagine that? Like just, you're 9 to 5, you're Monday to Friday, and imagine doing that, but it literally takes everything you've got out of you, so to the point you're bedridden all weekend, just to go and do that fun stuff again next Monday to Friday. That's what this guy was going for, or going through. When I first reached out to him about Kyani, he said this is an answer to a prayer because he was looking for something nutrition-based to aid in his health, and immediately said, I'm in. Sign me up. I'll try anything at this point. I just got this text from him last week, and it made me smile to know I played a small role in a more vibrant and pain-free life. I have my own testimony now, to which I'll share in another post. Keep spreading the word, friends, and invite people to another option than masking pain/symptoms with pharmaceuticals. This is an opportunity to give their body optimum health through pure nutrition and make an impact at the cellular level to completely transform them inside and out. A nutritionist I met months ago had never heard of the Triangle of Health, but upon me showing her the info, said it makes sense. These are all the nutrients that people are typically deficient in, packaged in liquid/tincture form for the most effective absorption. Our bodies are designed to function at top notch, but we need the nutrients to do so. She said Kyani nailed it. I'm so thankful to have found this product, and for those questioning the cost, I ask this: what is your health worth to you? Triangle of Health is way less than the tangible, emotional, and physical expense of managing sickness and pain in the long haul. I've made up my mind. I won't go a day without it. Be the best you are, worth it. Be blessed, all. And here's the text message to the left of the screen. This is from her very first customer, John. Hi, Kelly. I've been thinking about you a lot lately. I hope you're doing great. I've been traveling so much. I just got home from a 2.5-week trip. I had missed about 10 days of Kyani due to my own fault of not packing it. I was in so much pain and could hardly stand up. I started taking it again, and in 5 days, I'm pain-free again. Thank you for thinking of me and reaching out to inform me about Kyani. And here's the thing, is that this is not uncommon. I literally spent I bet you I spent an hour looking through testimonials, and there were so many good ones. I just wanted something that was simple, that spoke to me, but it was almost exhausting looking through all of the testimonials of people that this product has helped and impacted their lives. So when you're getting down, when you're not hitting the rank you want, when your CV's not quite there, when your pay gate's not there, whatever the case may be, or maybe that partner's on the fence and they didn't enroll this month and you're still waiting on them, or somebody said no to you about the product. You have to keep this in mind. So that's why we're starting to highlight more of these stories, because it's not just stories to the people that we're talking to. These stories are important to us. And when we read these stories more regularly, we've got them in the forefront of my mind. So next time I see somebody that's, having trouble moving, maybe they're using a cane, whatever the case may be, this story is going to be in the forefront of my mind, and it just fires me up because I have my story, but I'm so used to my story. It's like any of us. We play down our own stories, right? So it's important to really engage with the community and see what this is doing for everybody else, because these type of stories is exactly what we're here for. So that brings me into my topic. I said chapter 2, or the second step to riches in Think or Grow Rich, is faith. And this is a full disclosure. I didn't change these words. These are pretty much, if I've got parentheses around it, it's straight out of the book. I'm just taking it from one place, putting it into another, and showing you guys what stood out to me in this book, in these chapters. So faith, as Napoleon Hill defines it, is visualizing and believing in the attainment of desire. I see Rob Slagle there. He is a master of personal development. This guy has probably read every personal development book on the market. I absolutely love when he shares his opinions of this. So faith is not just visualizing, but it is truly the belief in the attainment of whatever it is you desire. Now, one thing that's interesting about Think and Grow Rich is a lot of people see that title and they think, well, I don't really care about money. And that's fine. If you actually read the book from cover to cover, it's not about money. The reason that Napoleon Hill chose the subject of money to center around is because so many people are not well enough educated on the subject of how to earn money. And he realized that even if money is not your end desire, money will probably help you attain whatever your true desire is. And this was also written back in the times of the Depression in the 1930s. Nobody had money. And the people that did have money, they had things figured out. They had this Think and Grow Rich stuff figured out. But that's why it's written on the subject of money. But when you see the word riches, it's not referring specifically to monetary value. Riches can be whatever is important to you. And in the case of desires, riches is whatever you desire. If you don't desire money, great. Whatever it is you desire, that's what makes you truly rich. Maybe that's happiness. Maybe that's love. Maybe that's security. Maybe that's a beach house. That takes some money anyway. But whatever it is, whatever you desire, that is what defines rich, because rich is different to every single person. And faith is visualizing and believing in the attainment of desire. So Hill goes on to describe how to develop faith. And he says, faith is a state of mind that may be induced or created by affirmation or repeated instructions to the subconscious mind through the principle of autosuggestion. And that is actually the next chapter in the book, is autosuggestion. It goes more into that. But basically, all thoughts which have been emotionalized, given feeling, and mixed with faith begin immediately to translate themselves into their physical equivalent or counterpart. And this is why, whether you're religious or not, it doesn't matter to me. However, if you are from a faith-based life, sometimes you come across people, or maybe even yourself, where we have these prayers, and there's certain set of words that we were raised to say. And you go through, it's very easy to go through a prayer and you say these same words every day, day in or day out, or every time you go to mass or whatever you call your mass, every time you go through that, you say the same words, day in, day out, whatever, weekend, Sunday in, Sunday out, whatever. However, if you are just simply saying the words, what Hill is saying is that doesn't really mean anything. That doesn't really do anything. You need to mix those words with emotion. So when you're repeating something, there is that thought process of writing down your goals every day or saying these affirmations every day. Affirmations are great, but if you don't believe them, if you don't tie emotion into it, they don't mean anything. You could start doing affirmations today, and 60 years down the road, you're saying the same damn affirmations. But if you never took the time to really think about it and believe in them and create emotion behind it, those affirmations will never take you anywhere. And that's what he's talking about. So faith is the head chemist of the mind. When faith is blended with the vibration of thought, the subconscious mind instantly picks up the vibration, translates it into its spiritual equivalent, and transmits it to infinite intelligence. And keep that in mind. If you're like me, maybe you write your goals down twice a day. I do that. However, I can also find myself going through dry spells where I'm writing those goals down every day. But if I'm not taking the time to think about those goals, and that's what he's talking about, visualize them. If you don't visualize, there is zero emotion behind it. If you don't visualize, if there's no emotion, you don't truly believe it. And that, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, that's the truth, and that's what Hill is getting at here. I'm pretty sure if this book has sold as many copies as it has in the last 100 years, he's probably figured something out. So let's go on to the next part here. Faith is a state of mind which may be induced by autosuggestion. Again, he's going back to that autosuggestion. Autosuggestion is simply exactly what I was talking to you about. For instance, if you write down your goals twice a day, or you say your goals every day, you are auto-suggesting whatever that is into your mind. Resolve to throw off the influences of any unfortunate environment and to build your own life to order. Taking an inventory of mental assets and liabilities, you will discover that your greatest weakness is lack of self-confidence. And I want everybody to take a second and think about that. Your greatest weakness, and he doesn't know who you are or what you've been through or what your life is like, but he is saying your greatest weakness, he doesn't care. Your greatest weakness is lack of self-confidence. Ask yourself, how long have you been in this business? Did you just get started? Well, that's great. Maybe you haven't had a chance to think about this yet. Have you been in this for 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, 36 months? Are you where you want to be in your business? And get real honest with yourself. If you had the self-confidence that you needed to build your business to the level you want it to go to, you'd probably already be there. If you are not where you want to be in your business, I can almost guarantee you, and I think Uncle Larry might concur with this, it probably, and he might have some different words for it, it probably relates back to a lack of self-confidence. Whether you realize that or not, You know, I heard somebody say that everything we do in life is based off of either fear or love. And most of us spend most of our days and most of our weeks and most of our years running out of fear. And that fear is really just another way of expressing lack of self-confidence. So Hill says, the application of this principle may be made through a simple arrangement of positive thought impulses stated in writing, memorized and repeated until they become a part of the working equipment of the subconscious faculty of your mind. And so what he's doing here is he's realizing that most people have a lack of self-confidence. That's exactly what he pointed out. Even the people that are relatively successful, or they've made a lot of money, or they've got all these promotions or whatever, most people have a lack of self-confidence in some part of their life that holds them back. And so what he's saying is that you can actually counter that. You can work against that. You can work against that fear, that lack of self-confidence. You can build that confidence up through an arrangement of positive thought impulses stated in writing, memorized, and repeated. So if you do that day in and day out, and that's the biggest thing, you need to be consistent. And that's why most people will read this book from cover to cover, and then they put it on their bookshelf, or they give it to their broke cousin, and they never read that book again. That's why most people never see the benefit of this book, because it's not meant to be read, it's meant to be lived. And if you do this day in, day out, you will see the benefits of it. And I'm going to play this because Bob Proctor is actually a big part of the course that I took in studying this book. And he's got a little bit of insight on faith and how to build that, if this will work. Otherwise, I might have to resort to YouTube. Yep, I got to resort to YouTube. Casey, you still with me, sir?
You're good to go, brother.
Let's try this out. This guy, I can't say enough about him. He's Canadian and he does not accept excuses.
There it is right there. And I want to share this with you because this paragraph, I was instructed to look at that shortly after I started to read the book, and it was the start of changing everything. Now, you can't read that from here, so we'll blow it up. Hill says there's a difference between wishing for a thing and being ready to receive it. No one is ready for a thing until they believe that they can acquire it. That's not an easy thing to do. He said the state of mind must be belief and not mere hope or wish. Now, the last two lines are critical. Open will not inspire faith, courage, or belief. There's the key. If you want to be ready for the success that you dream about, that Blaine had you playing with mentally, physically, if you're ready, then you believe. And if you don't believe, you're not ready. It's that simple. Now, this is the sad truth. Most people, it's hope and wish. Gotta hope this thing happens. If I go there, I wonder if it'll happen. You're gonna decide it's gonna happen. It's gotta be a decision you make. And it's gotta be an irrevocable decision. It's not conditional on anything. This is exactly the way it's gonna be done. You see, when you believe, everything else goes out the door. Now, how do you believe? Well, I talked about that earlier. Our belief system is based upon our evaluation of something. And frequently, if we reevaluate a situation, our belief about that situation will change. When Bell said that to me, it was like bells going off in my head. I realized then how and why I had changed. I had been searching for 9.5 years. The change had taken place. My life had changed dramatically, but I had no idea why it had changed. People say, how'd you do that? And I said, I don't know, I just do it. I have talked to all kinds of Olympians. I had a very good friend of mine, Mill Campbell, who's gone now, God bless him, but he was a gold medal decathlon winner.
I'm going to stop it right there. That video is almost 10 minutes long, and that really gives you just a little bit of insight on the tip of the iceberg. And that's really the truth of it. When you think about your actions and you think about where you are or where you aren't in your business, you need to be honest with yourself, and you need to take your current situation and trace it back to your actions. And this goes right back into that bear cycle that I was talking about. Belief creates enthusiasm, creates actions, which creates results, which therefore creates more belief. If you find yourself, and I have found myself many times in this position, where you are not taking the action that you know that it takes to create whatever it is your desire is, let's get honest. If you want to be a diamond, that's not a free ride. It ain't complicated, but you have to take a certain level of actions. If you say, I want to be diamond, and you've been saying that for 2 years and you are not diamond, let's look at your actions. Okay, now let's look at your actions. If you're not diamond, they probably aren't where they need to be. So let's back that up. If your actions are not corresponding with what you know a diamond would be doing or what it takes to become a diamond, let's look at your level of enthusiasm. Why aren't you taking the actions? Probably because you're not enthused. If you're not enthused, you're not enthusiastic, you're not excited to do what a diamond needs to do, let's look at your belief. And it might be belief in many things. Casey talks about this. David talks about this. The Reverend talks about this. Belief can be in yourself. Belief can be in network marketing. Belief can be in Kyani. And I can guarantee if you really look at network marketing in Kyani, there's no problem there. So chances are, if you've really studied this, belief, if you're having a problem in that section, it's probably belief in yourself. So trace it back. Belief creates enthusiasm, creates action, creates results. If you don't have the results you want, check your action. If you don't have the action you want, check your enthusiasm. If you ain't enthusiastic, check your belief. It's not that complicated. And then here's the other part. I've dealt with a lot of people on my team. I've seen ups and downs. I've seen people thrive. I've seen people fall apart. And I will tell you that the people that thrive are in communication. The people that fall apart, they have a hard time expressing when they're having challenges. If you are having a challenge with any part of that bear cycle, all you need to do is raise your hand. And I don't care if it's your upline or your downline or sideline, forget that. Just talk to somebody else about it. Somebody else in this business will be ready to lift you up, I promise, because that's the culture that we have created. And that's pretty much it. I'll send this link out to that video because I do think it's powerful. There's a self-confidence formula here. I'm going to read this to you really quick. It's only 5 steps. Self-confidence formula to achieve the object. And by the way, this is meant to be read daily until you got it down and memorized. I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action towards its attainment. And I here and now promise to take such action. I realize the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture of that person. If you don't know who you want to be, good luck at getting there. I know through the principle of auto-suggestion that any desire I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek expression. Therefore, I will devote 10 minutes daily to demanding of myself the development of self-confidence. If you had the self-confidence you needed, you'd probably be at where you wanted to be. So spend 10 minutes a day working on that. I have clearly written down a description of my definite chief aim in life. I will never stop trying until I have developed sufficient self-confidence for its attainment. The last step. I fully realize that no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. Therefore, I will engage in no transaction that does not benefit all whom it affects. I will succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use and the cooperation of other people. I will induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve others. I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism by developing love for all humanity, because I know that a negative attitude towards others can never bring me success. Check your attitude. I will cause others to believe in me because I will believe in them and in myself. I will sign my name to this formula, commit to its memory, and repeat it aloud once a day with full faith that it will gradually influence my thoughts and actions so that I will become a self-reliant and successful person. If you want to read up on this, Get Think and Grow Rich, read the second chapter of The Second Step to Riches. The name by which one calls this law, which is autosuggestion, is of little importance. The important fact about it is it works for the glory and success of humankind if it is used constructively. If used destructively, on the other hand, it will destroy just as readily. Whatever you put in your mind is going to take control of that. If it's positive, you're going to create some good stuff. If you're putting negative thoughts into your mind, you're going to blow up, man, and it's not going to be good. You're going to self-destruct, and you're going to realize that. All impulses of thought tend to clothe themselves in their physical equivalent. So think about that. And if you want to take this more seriously, which I encourage all of us to do, read that. Read that chapter. Start on the book. If you think you're beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win, but you think you can't, it is almost certain you won't. If you think you'll lose, you're lost. For out of the world we find, success begins with a person's will. It's all in the state of mind. If you think you're outclassed, you are. If you think you've got to think to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man, but sooner or late, the one who wins is the one who thinks he can. It's all in the thoughts in your mind. Next time, I'll train on auto-suggestion. But I'm going to give it back to Mr. Casey Salgi, our top-producing emerald. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it. It's been a while since I've been in Power Hour, and I know we have somebody else very special to bring on, so I appreciate the time, and I apologize for taking up maybe a little more time than I anticipated.
My goodness gracious, sir. That was freaking on fire, man. Oh, well done. Well done. If you look at the chat session, you see everybody just blown away, man. You freaking brought your A game tonight. Now y'all know what was going on, man. We got to send him out to the woods in East Texas a few more times. That guy came back on absolute fire. So thank you, Jake. I took so many notes, man. My page is full on both sides. You hit so many great things. I mean, just incredible. Events, he nailed it. Bear cycle, nailed it. Also, everybody, if you spend a little time tonight and send out a prayer for Miss Betty Harrison. She actually had to go to the hospital tonight, so keep her in your thoughts and prayers. Nailed all 13 of those. Product impact. My biggest one there, greatest weakness, lack of self-confidence. That's so good, and I have so many more notes on that. But, man, thank you so much, Jake. I have goosebumps right now. I'm freaking need to jump up and down. That was so good. So freaking good. So I'm going to make this quick on the transition because I don't want to keep us too late, but you want to stick around for a little bit longer, I promise, because the guy that I'm bringing on here just came in from Dallas, Texas. He is a green diamond. Before I bring him up, I want to share a real quick little something here and let you guys know what you're getting ready to experience. So let me share this real fast before I bring him on because this guy here did a pretty good job of bringing him on.
Now, to start us off as only he can, please join me in welcoming to the stage our first speaker for this session, Kyani Green Diamond, Miles Stallard. What's up, Kyani? Woo! Yes! Wow!
And that right there, folks, is how I feel when he comes up. He is going to be spitting some fire tonight. That was at one of the first internationals I went with, Kayani, and I watched him. And I'm like, man, this guy is something special, and he is the top producing green diamond on planet Earth right now. He is absolutely amazing. He is in Houston for us. We're going to be broadcasting him to the world tomorrow night. And you're looking at a multi-millionaire here in Kayani. So great pleasure to introduce my friend, Mr. Miles Stallard. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir, I can.
Awesome.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. Take it away.
Awesome. Wow. Man, thank you so much for having me on tonight. I'm excited to see everybody tomorrow, but I've got to give it back to my man, Jake. That was unbelievably freaking awesome. I've been doing this now for 4 years, and I have seen some of the most incredible trainings, and that was absolute fire. Especially, and I want to go back. I got to say it because when he talked about the bear cycle, he brought an angle of the bear cycle that I've never seen before, which was not just being a new business partner and having the belief and having the enthusiasm and having the action and the results, but to actually going back and asking yourself, when you're stuck somewhere, which one of those points are you stuck at? Because it's absolutely true. You're going to be stuck at one of those 4 points, period. And you're not stuck outside of that. Like, you're either the belief, the enthusiasm, the action, or the results. And they are all tied in together. So that was fire. But guys, I'm excited. We're going to have an incredible day tomorrow. We're going to have an incredible night tomorrow night. So what I want you guys to do is I want to encourage you guys to go all out tonight and tomorrow with getting as many people to the PBR tomorrow night as you possibly can. I want you guys to set goals. I want you to go after those goals. Set your numbers. What are you going to hit? How many people are you going to contact? And how many confirmations are you going to have before tomorrow? I don't want you to give up. I want you to get as many people as you possibly can in front of me tomorrow, because I promise you, if you bring people to me, I will bring them in the business. This is what I do. I'm very good with PBRs. I'm very good with getting people to see the vision on what we have. Guys, we are sitting on a gold mine. We're sitting in a wide open market. You guys have the opportunity to rock and roll with this thing. But let's go back to the bear cycle. Where is your action? Where is your action to get the results? Because Jake is right. Without the actions, you're never going to get the results. But without what's holding you back from your action is your enthusiasm or your belief. Ask yourself this question. Are you contacting more people today than you were your first week in the business? See, for most people, it's not like that. Most people, they join the business, and that's when they go all out and they contact the most people. But as you're in the business for a certain period of time, you start to slow down the recruiting process. Guys, we are in a recruiting game. So what I want to encourage you guys to do is take action tomorrow. I want you to follow up with every single person that you have ever talked to. I want you to send out messages. I want you to hit the numbers, and I want you to have a goal to have at least minimum 5 confirmations, if not more. Now, what does 5 confirmations mean? It probably means that you're going to have to talk to and message and text and call probably a lot of people to nail down 5 confirmations, 5 yeses, I will be there. Something that I've been working on lately with the recruiting side of this business is something that Darren Hardy talks about all the time. And not just Darren Hardy, but Brian Carruthers, okay? And he says this in Building an Empire. It's a book, absolutely amazing. You should probably get it. But go for no's. Go for no's, go for no's, go for no's. And I've heard this forever. For 4 years, I've been hearing people say, go for no's, go for no's, go for no's. But I never understood what that meant. And now I do. And it really means just go for no's. But you tend to go for yeses. Even when you're going for no's, you're still targeting the yeses, right? And something that I've seen and I've noticed and I learned is when I'm going for those no's, my goal is not to get 10 yeses a day. My goal is to get 10 no's a day. I need 10 people to tell me flat out, no, they are not interested. Not maybe, not let me think about it, let me talk to my spouse, none of that. I need 10 no's. I am going for no's. And because I'm going for no's, I have never in my entire life had so many yeses. But I'm going for no's. See, what going for no's does is it teaches you to take action, to go all out. One thing I can promise you guys, if you take the action necessary, Jake said it over and over and over, if you take the action, you will get results. You will get results if you take the action. And guys, I'm telling you, tomorrow is going to be absolute fire. I'm telling you, if you do not get people in front of me, you're going to regret it. I'm not here every single day. You don't have me at your disposal all the time. So when I'm here, guys, go all out. Go all out. You know, Jake was right about talking about the event this past weekend. Unfreaking believable. I've never been so fired up my entire life either. And you know, there's a lot of reasons why, but I think the biggest reason why it was so powerful is because the vision that was casted while we were at this event. And not just a vision on where Kyani is going and where Team Fusion is going, but a vision on where the family of Team Fusion is going. The camaraderie and the family that we have with Team Fusion. Guys, we are an unstoppable force. But we've got to go and play the game together. Because if only one of us has 5 confirmations tomorrow and we only have 5 guests in the room, it's not going to be nearly as impactful as we have 20 people. I'm telling you guys, we have 20 brand new people there tomorrow. I am telling you, it is going to be one of the biggest events that you guys have ever had, have ever seen, because you're going to have so many new business partners. And because of that, we're going to have new blood. New blood means new momentum, means new bear cycles, high belief, high enthusiasm, therefore high action, therefore we get high results, right? So again, I know I'm beating the dead horse. Pack the freaking house tomorrow, guys. I'm gonna bring the heat. I'm gonna bring people into this business. I'm telling you, I will not let you down. So let me do what I do best, and let me help you build your business and take advantage of tomorrow. And Mr. Casey Salgi, thank you so much. I'm going to give it back to you, but I've got to give it to you, Casey. I mean, in fact, I was talking to Mr. Brad Parkhill today. We were on the phone today. We talked literally for about 30 minutes about how you yourself, Casey Salgi, are a freaking rock star. I mean, you're the best in the industry, seriously one of the best I've ever seen. And, I mean, you're my mentor, not just within Kyani, but in life, you know what I mean? And for everybody that's on here, you guys already know. I mean, y'all have the best leader in the industry, not just Kyani and Team Fusion, but literally the industry. And if you're new and you don't realize that yet, well, you will, because he is absolutely amazing. And I would not be who I am today or where I am today in this business if it wasn't for who Casey is and the leadership that he has been able to produce within his organization and, you know, with me. So, Casey, thank you so much for having me on. Guys, I can't wait to see you guys. If you're not there tomorrow, you're definitely missing out. I don't think that even needs to be said that you need to be there, but I'm going to say it. You need to be there, but you need to promote and you need to pack the house. So, love you guys. See you tomorrow. We're going to blow up Houston. Let's go.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, thank you so very much. You got me fired up. Thank you for jumping on. And I know you are a busy guy traveling all over. And thank you for the very kind words, too. That means a ton. I really do appreciate that, respect you, and thank you for pouring into the team. Folks, this man is here for you guys. And, man, just do everything he just said, because if you haven't seen him yet, just show up. It's so good. And imagine this. I looked over my shoulder, and a couple things I had on my reading label there is that little fellow right there. And then if you just listen to that man spitting fire, he was just talking about that little comment right there for that book. And then after that, this one as well. And I actually got this one autographed by that guy because I was hanging out with him. So, folks, everything that you heard tonight is pure gold, pure fire. Only thing that's lacking out of all this is these little beautiful, lovely books and all that knowledge and all these notes that you just took. Everything out of that doesn't mean one hill of beans if you don't do anything with it. So that's what the comment was tonight, is that action. I hope your belief is there now. I hope your enthusiasm Because if your enthusiasm isn't there, then you need to, as they say, a checkup from the neck up. If that doesn't light your fire, your wood's wet. All those great little sayings come to mind right now. So the belief, that's on you. The enthusiasm, that's there. And now it's all up to you on action. I cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow. When you get here, if you got a Kyani vehicle and it's got a sticker on it, you can park in the driveway. If not, you got to walk a little bit further. It's hot, so do everything you can to get your Kyani car by tomorrow. Otherwise, we will see you guys. Cannot wait to have you fill up the house. It's going to be absolute fun. If you need anything, any questions, anybody I need to talk to, put me on. I'll have a great night. Thank you so much, Jake. Thank you for being an absolute badass and crushing it tonight. And Mr. Stallard, thank you for being on and throwing fire on that fire already. I'm so fired up right now, everybody. I'm not going to sleep for another 4 hours. So y'all have a great night. I'm going to unmute the line so y'all can say good night, and we will see you tomorrow. Good night, everybody.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go now.
Oh, good job.
Good night, John boy.
Y'all do realize he ain't gonna sleep tonight.
No, it's all. Yeah. No.
And neither am I now.
Casey, what does Mr. Bradford say? He says, if you're not fired up, fire yourself.
Yes, if you're not fired up, you need to fire yourself after that. There, you got no hope.
We know Reverend Jones's wood is not wet.
No,
Not at all, baby. It's good.
no.
I am the fire, youngsters.
The
I am
Reverend.
the fire. Come on, Jones.
Oh, that's awesome. Y'all have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.